So here's the first equation. The first equation is, who do I want to be? What do I want in life? Why do I exist? And we came up with something called BPM multiplied by BPI. It's actually my license plate here in Ontario. It's my license plate, BPM x BPI. So BPM is best possible me. And we multiply that by the biggest positive impact. So if we break it down even further, the best possible me is my talents, my passions, my values, my character traits, my skills, my choices. And the biggest positive impact is for myself first, the people I love, and then the world around me. And if I'm only out there doing things for other people and trying to create an impact, but I'm ignoring my values, my passions, the things that make me me, well, we've got a zero on one side of the equation, so the whole thing equals zero. So we always want to be operating where we are amplifying and we are multiplying the best of who we are and creating that impact. Now, here's the thing. When does that happen? Does that happen annually? Does it happen monthly? It happens moment by moment. So when we're on this podcast, we could talk about tips and tricks to get you investment fast. Or we could talk about how do you get the compound interest that gives you the life you really want? Because in this moment, we're using that equation, the best me and the biggest impact. And then if you think about it, if you mess up, like I do all the time, I have a fight with my sister. I stopped listening because I was trying to get my point across. Then like Confucius says, I can now reflect and I can say, was that the best version of me to create an impact? Then I can call her back and be like, sister, I got to apologize. I still think I'm right, by the way, but making you feel disrespected or not heard is a bridge too far. I will not do that. And that's the most important thing to me. So because the reflection period happens instantly and continuously, we're applying that equation moment by moment. So that equation again is the best possible me multiplied by the biggest positive impact. So now we've got Confucius talking about how to get wisdom through reflection, and we've got our equation for greatness and for legacy. Now, we had to add to it, Run Deep, because we had some really smart clients that were like, well, then how do I know what to do? You're saying I should do this in every moment. Of course, yes. At school, in your family, at your workplace, at your place of worship, when you're in traffic and it's not going anywhere, you should do this. But how do I know what to do? What's the best thing for me to do? So we came up with another equation. Do we have time for another equation? Let me know. He said, thumbs up, we've got time. Okay, so this one we had to ask ourselves, why are we doing the things that we're doing? Because we want to have one equation and one unknown so we can solve for it. And why goes back to what we just talked about. We are doing things to create the biggest positive impact, being the best version of ourselves. That's something we've already decided. That's what we want to be. Then we have to ask ourselves, okay, we know why we're doing things to create the biggest impact through the truth of who we are, but then how are we going to do things? So I just decided, I'm like, you know what, Rundeep, if I do something, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to do it as if my entire legacy was being judged on this moment. Rundeep, I'm telling you, take the transcript of this podcast and play it at my funeral. That's how I want to live every moment. So now we've got why, we've got how, and the last thing we're left with is what. What am I going to do? And the best way to think of what is, if you are going to give things your all and do things with legacy in mind, and if you're going to become the best version of yourself and create an impact, you can't say yes to 100 things. It's just, you can't. So now I have to be ultra careful what I say yes to. If Randeep calls and says, hey, are you willing to do a podcast? I look at my values. Is this something that's going to create value and legacy? Is this using my unique talents? Is this going to be something that the compound interest will be a life worth living? And it is. And so I say yes. And then it doesn't matter if the business was falling apart in the morning. If I've got 7 client meetings coming up later today, I give my all in this moment because I've said yes to something that fits my desire to have legacy, profit, purpose, income, and impact. So that's the equation I would say if you want to be a responsible person who has a life of profit and purpose. Why are you doing it? Because I want to be the best version of myself and create the most incredible outcomes. How are you going to do it? I'm going to give things my all. Well, then be careful what you say yes to. Because when you say yes to something, I want you to give it your all. And that'll give us permission to say no to, hey, can you be the MC for this fundraiser? Like, I would love to say yes, but I prefer to put this energy into my family because if I can't give it my all, I won't say it. So now you're a steward of your time, and you're a person who's in control of your legacy.